over here walking by these tents, right? And I remember I had got to the point where I'm hallucinating. I'm talking to myself. I'm seeing demons, and my family members got to see me walking the street like that, and they told me that. I mean, like, you could just imagine how a mother would feel just seeing her oldest son just like talking to himself on the corner. How do I say it? It's kind of messed up. So my name is Hector, and I have a sobriety date of May 2nd, 2019. I have like 20 solid months sober. I grew up in the city of Santa Ana, Orange County. My mom was like worked two jobs. She had to take care of me and my other three brothers. My dad was an alcoholic, like breaking stuff and getting in trouble. Like the other good boys, I guess. It's just natural. So I had a lot of fun with my brothers, but I mean, I had a lot of consequences also. And when my dad left and died, it was just kind of like alone. And I started looking for validation from the wrong people because it attracted me. So I was just kind of looking for love, looking for somebody. And I had a lot of anger with my dad also because as I grew up, he was very abusive mentally, verbally and physically. And I didn't understand it because I just wanted to be a kid and play. But I mean, I had some good memories in my childhood. Like, I don't know, one of my fondest memories is my mom gave us like a basketball court, like a rim, but she put it inside the in the living room. It was Christmas, so I decided to be like Shaq, and I jumped on a couch and did a slam dunk and fell out the front window of the house. And I mean, it's kind of that's just the type of kids we were. But I mean, it's something that stands out to me, and I think it's pretty funny now. But at that moment, it wasn't. It was cold, and I started off smoking weed and drinking 40s. Everybody on the block was doing it, and first time I ever smoked weed, it wasn't. I don't know. I was trying to fit in, and then the alcohol. I should have known I was an alcoholic from the beginning, but I wasn't. More drink, and then I just ended up drinking till I threw up all over my friend's house. I guess normal people could just put it down, right? My drug of choice ended up being meth. The thing about that drug is that I mean, it makes you feel like you're powerful. Like for me, like I felt like I was like the Incredible Hulk, and nothing could stop me. And I didn't give a crap about consequences or anything like that. I just did what I wanted to do. Um, I had a lot of people trying to help me out, but I wasn't trying to be helped. I didn't want help. I like what I was doing. Um, I'm also an ex gang member, and that came kind of like together, drugs and alcohol and crime and all that. It kind of just went together. Like it was just a life of chaos, and I thrived in chaos. When I tried meth for the first time, I was actually at a party, and I got drunk once again. I was super drunk. I started tipping over tables and knocking down bottles. My cousin ended up taking me to the restroom, and he had this baggie, and he goes, "Hey man, here, sniff this because you need to wake up. You're making a fool of yourself." And I did it, and I mean, instantly, like I did not feel drunk at all. Like instantly, it was like an instant, like an eruption in my brain. It just was like boom, I'm awake. And after that, it was just like I didn't even know what it was at that moment, but once I ran into it again with one of my friends, like I knew exactly that's what it was, and I kind of always chased that one high. Um, I guess it was recreational at first. I didn't think it was gonna take over my life the way it did. I mean, on math, there's a lot of crazy things. I laugh now, but I mean, it's not funny. You see the shadow people, or you start believing things that aren't there. I kind of became like a klepto too. I like to steal stuff when I'm high, and I'm pretty good at it. I walked into a Target and I took a 54-inch screen, a flat screen TV on my shoulder and walked out with it. Nobody stopped me, and then I walked it across like I don't know how many miles just to get the next fix. I mean, that's just where my disease took me. But I mean, back to the psychosis. Like, I mean, that's no fun. I mean, for a moment, I went around and my family had shut their doors on me. They told me I couldn't go back home unless I wanted to help myself. When that happened, like, it sounds messed up, but I mean, it's the best thing that they ever did for me because I just kept using them. They kept enabling me, and I just kept taking. So they kicked me out, and I was walking by, and I remember there was like this group of homeless people that lived by the train tracks, and I mean, I knew that's where the drugs were at. This is after all the shine and everything kind of went away because I hang out with girls and be like stuck in like hotel rooms, and I've sold drugs and this and that. But I mean, towards the end, it was just like I'm walking on these train tracks where these homeless people live, and they have tents and they have drugs and they have bikes, and I don't have crap. My car got repoed. Freaking, I lost my job. Like I said, nobody wanted anything to do with me, and it was just like I felt like pathetic. I was like, dude, these homeless people actually have somewhere to go to. I don't even have a place to stay. I just kept roaming around, breaking into apartments just to like jump in the shower. Going to the gym every night, just to use the shower. I had to steal like clothes like almost every day just to put up with this like facade that I wasn't getting high. It was kind of, like I said, it's kind of sad now, but at the moment, that's what I had to do. So I'm over here walking by these tents, right, and I remember I had got to the point where I'm hallucinating. I'm talking to myself. I'm seeing demons, and my family members got to see me walking the street like that, and they told me that. I mean, like you could just imagine how a mother would feel just seeing her only like her oldest son just like talking to himself on the corner. How do I say it? It's kind of messed up. I was once again. I still didn't stop. That still didn't stop me. The psychosis and all that. I've been in jail 19 times. Three of those have been in prison. I mean, that's how manageable my life is. When I get locked up, it was like a vacation for me. It wasn't a punishment anymore. It was like they rescued me. And it's funny because towards the end of my using experience, I had already maxed out my time, so I had no probation or parole no more. So not even the cops could save me no more. It was just like I'm out there on the street. And it's just survival mode. So I'm walking down the street one night and I'm tripping out. I'm going through these like horrible feelings of misery and pain, but still the only thing on my head is I need to get more. Car pulls up next to me, and it's like kind of close to a church. And this guy stops and he tries to get in. He goes, "Hey man, you want something to eat?" And I mean, that's how bad I looked. So he gave me something to eat. I took it, and I'm walking down this, I'm walking down the street still, and I reach out to God, to my higher power, and I just kind of like looked up to the sky, like, and I'm just like, am I really here for this? Like, is this really my purpose? Like, because I believe everybody has a purpose, like some people are doctors or teachers or fitness trainers, whatever, and I was just like, am I really here on this earth to play the role of this, like, schizophrenic, you know, tweaker, and I just couldn't believe it. And I didn't want to believe it, and I don't know what it was, but at that moment, like I felt this peace in me and something told me to go back home. But once again, I get there and knock and I tell him I want to go to rehab. And my brother was like, dude, like, no, like you said this so many times, like you already cried wolf so many times. And he's telling me no. So I did with the next best idea that I had. And I used some of my skills from the street and I broke into my mom's car. And I broke into my mom's car and I slept in the back seat. I told myself I'm not moving until they take me to rehab. And sure enough, the next morning they wake me up. My brother's trying to kick me out of the car. It's a big old scene, and I look up, my mom looks down and she goes, "What's going on?" And I was just like, I want to go to rehab. I don't know what she saw in me, like maybe the desperation inside of me or something. I mean, it was painful. I couldn't do nothing without my my fix or my drink or anything. I couldn't do anything. Like I wake up and if I didn't smoke or use or anything like that, like I was like nothing. I was pathetic. I couldn't function. I was chemically dependent. But she saw something in me that day, and sure enough, she took me to the treatment center called the Hope House in Anaheim, and it was my third time being there. The first couple times I just did it to get parole off my back, and the second time was to get my baby's mother back. Some excuses like I always thought other things would keep me sober. Like a girlfriend was going to keep me sober. I have a daughter, she's 12, and even the love that I have for her wouldn't be able to keep me sober. Like it was like for me, I find it hard to believe, because I know that I had this like disease in me that's always trying to kill me, and I know that once I take the first drink or take the first hit or whatever, like I'm through. It's not like I'm not a casual drinker. I'm not a casual smoker. I don't drink with my pinky up, and it's just like I take that one drink and I get this like this obsession of the mind is just like the phenomenon of craving inside of me is like by all means just powerful. Like that's all I think about. And I mean the type of treatment that helped me to recover. I mean I'm like a hybrid, honestly. But I'll tell you what worked for me or what's still working for me. That treatment center that I went to, it was like behavior modification. So if you did something like that wasn't against the rules or whatever, they had like a little discipline that sat you on a bench and made you just sit forward and look. And You couldn't talk, you couldn't nothing. You just had to sit there and do your time, which would be like a few minutes or whatever. It seems kind of childish, like a timeout, but I kind of was like a little kid, but I also learned a lot of life skills. I learned what my triggers and everything were. I did therapy also. Therapy was kind of like, it helped me a lot. I got down and dirty with the therapist, and at first I didn't want to say nothing because I didn't want to be vulnerable or anything like that. I just wanted to build this wall up, and I couldn't. I was just like, how are you gonna help me? And but I had to toss that aside and just kind of like just get real with the therapist, and I just told her everything. Like, I mean, everything. Because at this point, like I said, I was desperate to do something different, and I just did everything that I didn't do before. Like everything I didn't do before, which is actually like try, and not lie. That helped out a lot. I had a lot of good counselors, and I just kept bombing them with questions because I wanted a solution. Like I wanted a solution in my life. I tried every which way. I tried moderating things. I tried switching from one thing to another. I tried the fitness thing. I tried the getting the girlfriend and settling down thing. I tried getting a different job. Like I tried everything you could think of, and I had no solution. I always end up in the same thing. And I practice the program of Alcoholics Anonymous, and that's what's helping me today a lot. I took direction. I came to a sober living, and I went to a sober living like my sponsor told me to do. My sponsor actually is a blessing in disguise. I was at that Hope House, and my therapist had gave me a packet for Narcotics Anonymous. And I mean, I don't knock any fellowship. I think any fellowship that's gonna work. I mean, everybody has something that works for them, right? And I was doing their packet, and she showed up, and she just said, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "I'm working on my steps." They have the 12 steps, and she told me I couldn't sponsor myself, which I think is pretty funny because I mean I was trying to solve my problem with my own thinking, and it's just like it doesn't work like that. And the first thing she told me to do was she said, "I'm your sponsor now," and she said, "I'm your sponsor now, and go get yourself a big book of Alcoholics Anonymous," and that's what I did, And I said, "Okay, I'll try out this thing," you know. And I just started working my steps. I got thorough and honest. I had to do like I done every single step, and it was just kind of a blessing. Another thing that's that helped me recover is I know it's might sound cheesy, but I mean I have a connection with the God, with my God, and it's we call him our and I believe in God, and I rely on God on a daily basis. I'm not super religious, like I don't do no like rituals or anything like that, but I just wake up every morning and I pray and I thank him, and I ask him to like help me to help somebody else. At the end of my night, I kind of like review my day and see where I fell, and ask him to help with that. You know, so I mean, there's a lot of things that I do still to this day. I sponsor people. That helps me out a lot, actually. Getting out of myself and trying to help somebody else out is pretty it's a pretty cool experience. Sometimes I really don't want to do it, but I do it anyways because that's what I was taught to do. And so far, I mean, this little time that I've accumulated, I mean, I owe it all to that. One thing that I'm proud of the most is about myself is being able to be in my daughter's life. She's 12 years old, and with her, she is my everything. Like I said earlier, like she couldn't even keep me sober. Like the love for her couldn't keep me sober. I love my daughter. I love my daughter so much, and I always used to say I'm gonna get sober for her, and I just couldn't do it. And it wasn't until I started, working this program and all this, and getting close to God that everything started changing. But yeah, my daughter, she's beautiful, she's smart, and I grew up obviously like half my life without my dad, and I went my way, and I caused myself a lot of pain and others a lot of pain. So I didn't want that for my kid. And one thing that I'm proud about myself is that I'm there now, and like I'm able to provide now. Like I'm not a deadbeat dad. I'm responsible. I have a job that I've been keeping on a consistently. I pay my bills. I pay my bills. I buy her clothes. Like I do everything that a normal father should do. Like it's nothing extraordinary, right? But it's like I'm able to do that, and I'm not on the street talking to myself. So I mean, just being able to be in her life and experience her, like it's a blessing, you know. Um, Honestly, like my life today, like I wouldn't trade it for one of my best days high. I'm not rich or anything like that, but I mean, my life is pretty cool. I go to college now. You know, I jumped out of a plane to go skydiving, like stuff like that. I get to do all that stuff. Somebody that's struggling out there, my advice to you is get some help. This might sound messed up, but it's like whenever you're ready, like find somebody or something or a place and reach out to them and actually ask for help. For a long time, I wanted to like quit, but I had some like what we call pride and ego, and I didn't want to break it because I didn't want to seem weak. But that's gonna kill you, man. It's gonna kill you. You know, drugs nowadays ain't no joke. They're laced with all sorts of stuff, and I know a lot of people that have died, you know, just this past year, and it's no joke. You know, get help, reach out for somebody, go to treatment, try their way out, and keep in mind that your way hasn't worked and it's not going to work. You know, so you have to keep an open mind and take direction for a little bit. You know, like just for a little bit, find a fellowship, whether it be church, whether it be whatever it is that you choose. You know, just something that's gonna get you out of yourself. It's not easy. It's not easy. My first year was not easy at all. My first 30 days were hell. You know, my first 2 weeks of I basically detoxed like naturally, no pills or anything, and it was hell. But even that's not enough. Like you know, like just being able to like my first month, like I wanted to leave my treatment center. Like I know why. I mean, obviously I wanted to get high, but I didn't want to leave. It was just like a weird range of emotions. You know, my 30 days were hard. My 60 days was hard. Getting to my 6 month was freaking. It was hard, you know. And then after that, like you start accumulating time, you start living life. You know, like everything that you already know didn't work, so try everything differently. That's all I suggest. You know, that's what saved my ass. You know, that's what's still saving my life. Even to this day, like I try to do something different every day. Every day I try to learn something different. There's so much to live for. I'd rather be working a 8 hour job, kicking it with my kid, having to pay bills and all that good stuff, than be stuck in a garage, sweaty or homeless, you know, not with nowhere to go, with no one around you, because that's what it's going to lead to. You know, like my rock bottom was not nice this last time, and I needed that. So everything that I used to think that families that cut off their, you know, the family members was kind of messed up, but I'm telling you guys, that was the best thing that's ever happened to me. Everybody closing their doors on me and not helping me anymore or enabling me, that was the best thing that's ever happened to me. Because it taught me how to be a man, and that it wasn't a joke anymore. Like my family loves me and everything, but it's just like enough's enough, right? And I had to see it too. I don't know, get close to God, you know, better yourself every day, and you know, try something different. That's all I gotta say.